Malungil swel belmora atabela lo mesa Kausischakl al sils elang en February 12, 2026. El al sils nga kamo hostra Kausischakl le tigal partner gidra Joel ma ngirmanga ma kambesa malmasang so tepula se adalbay gaguk mo olguyong lem drive our Kausischakl al sils akbal happy le hostra asure al swel. So lang akti so kali ngutal ti ale wish everyone advance Valentine's Day, which is going to happen on Saturday, the 14th of February. Makamiwile mal romantic ada. Don't forget to buy some flowers for your lovers. It's the only day in the year gila guktal show our love. So get your flowers ready and your chocolates. Okay, elang malungil arungudel al swel bel ngaria mal special guest tergid. So lang magadawuk mormeng sa abebira ungil ice ra ablura outsider Palau. Igida manik mo sera semle October 1 1994 abelam lo mura tagidele compact of free association. So lang kadamlo independent. Maseral YC at taramle manday tirigid kadamo member community of nations around the world. Tarama lungil lurior itiangam labor rusira tigele founding fathers of Palau masi taraklo se Palau mo stand in his own 2 feet. So lang despite a size rabulwad may diserat igida sovereign nations. Maselway say ang gila del gida proactive partra rogul event rabulad. Hindi ka tuwara di nga sideline lombrot gila del partringi. Masel de partringi yang malungil yang gida partra world events outcome ringi yang elis ngaria tingin nga alsel. Gadamal happy lang ngaria obis gida UN yang ngaria obis gida New York City yang ngaria ambassador gida. Mel al swel bak mal happy el mo o ay sigit masya special guest tergis is none other Ilana Seid el namo telaragal ya ambassador gil mara UN to gabriel say magdabal happy ngartiang. She arrived yesterday mga luay say di mo olgyun sa introduce mara nga gidele Ilana mara baskidak masing karang ako mal daily relera a UN yang rang gildurwa se high priorities raurelel soal foster rang gildul ko ramal from das when ngara berusel direct ngara wish list terkawe ambassador makam wa olguyung le ko di answer ay akan tinlo gara bebera ng question okay una nga ekor ka
sulang aval vai malungil sel marvek la ade mal ko ungil arungu del guk memes ko miwe nga kalakat nga gal mertel talk show mundir gal gora malungil anong kol may makuksher gal bebira wele tra UN el ragma last year actually gadam le chera al adal dolgerin leseng Alliance of Small Island States tia gal dorina el balura small islands el member a UN several edel mocheringi mang malclo rere deleng wado tola batiging la torina el blue la sel de guerre el blue wa blue Palau ita bong ituta otorang re deleng almost 200 blue ra UN mesel bom dorina el blue ita wal 20% of the UN vote kamo voting black among sel mga adu en wal klo o msisi atiging malastir ang malmle mring la were ding diral man exciting ma priority da mlekal day first to climate change se priority bleda setting other gura pacific el wasing se wan ra ko clol risk el mera abalwa de le gudme se mlamam sisi a typhoon sea level rise ga gidel wa ikal hanga wa butile la merba ba adab el malmal lablay ma wajay kita huk advocacy kita la climate change adam ring lawyer ni la UN ang edul priority gid ma priority AOC sa to rada so say ige priority lel set a president first tell high seas treaty it's called the biodiversity beyond national jurisdictions treaty tawa sel التل UN أو التبدر لا الممغريم را يقال high seas. So سيدا قدمت نغتر بلام لو first البلول verifying التريدي منوال مال قام لكلو leadership رجيد ل UN قام لو أعرض اللي غني ترجل أفعل سلم نغلي بلاو متى لم أصل ريل واسين قدمي الجرام نمبر 1. سيدا تريغ المال متراتيم را president الملي تريغ المرين عسولي هذا أولبي مسؤول لور أدي الله ملس هذا verify سيدا التريدي. أونغير البراي تريغ ذا تريغ تقول deep sea mining سيدا المرين اللوريرنيا president تويبس من langannya al-other UN International Seabed Authority sanga Jamaica ese wal regulate igal mining igal high international waters so gida dirigal met first البلو declare a moratorium na deep sea mining لقينا del تجينا دواسه ديرها قد سوبي تلدا بالمونيل يا دوني سيgal البرتاق legal langannya التملير على سلاداب كده منين لسه أتل within Palau كده نبنا دي بسيم كده ملابنا mining هذه كده نبنا trolling كده منين لسه ستملير تلبرتاق لمن ما دير الغرا ولا سيس أكلد المرا international community أسين تل دابا كده المغرب مني سوبي المونيل ميجل activity الدورول قد make sure إن هذا سلطة مليا واللغة لكلنار تيالدا لسل كده الأدر أيلاندا مالو سبير تيالدا هذه الغلون هذا البريورتي را تقرا ocean إلا UN أوريرا treaty الجيرة لا plastic pollution يجيد الأدر بلا الأمنية لا سير مستريق البلاستيك المراد بيدا هذا الكومير كيس كومير عنود البلو مقدوات جيرة الأورير كده مع بلو الأدر وجيل واسم مقدار اللي لا الموسائل ستبا يقال بلاستيك من دعال التورا ذا دعال لور المرا أبلواد لور من يقال البيتشز الدوس الغرا توريسم ما ويجي and then finally تقرا ocean سيغذا ديرغ أكتيرغ متشر تيال it's called the Blue Economy and Finance Forum تيا غير اللي عمله all سيس بقى بأسلو ذو for Blue Economy projects عمله كوتشير سين عم أذرا فرانس عملوا سيس بقى 10 billion US dollars to the Blue Economy ecosystem. Wow. مسيجي ده ديرغ المال كلوريور من نقول نقول الجود مقلي مسيجي ده عمله تقرا عذاب فاني لاست البريورتي كده UN sustainable development يقوق مال دمرين لوريورني اجيره لا الاتل بلور بلا غرامو غدم لي هاي انكم يا سال التملا غوفي غدم لي undergraduate سلبو هاي انكم تلقي بالتم اللي تواسيغم قم يعمراو من دغال سئيل ملا كرانت دغال سئيل ملا تشيب لون سراوا وورلد بانك مع IMF او يجي مدغال سئل الاكسس مسين غدم لي undergraduate قدم لي لابي الواسي من post graduation رغم لي الانجيلا الموت graduate now recover economy مغذا ملي كامبين الواسي حالم post graduation رغم لي دغال سئل وسبيع او سيسيول لا المراقلو البلو ما غير البلو لتدي ميوان التايفون سلت نمال لاقلو الانفراستراكشر يغمال منين العرال so سيجي that the blood is successful نيرا last December من تيلو بتسل تجي لا OECD داك سل غرا الأذل للتو ده جاي كده العربان قالوا ستة post graduation كده الم 2027 كده أوريال ترى الشانسر سلا so سيجي that دي رجال مالوني الأوتكم راوريد وسائل نمسائل الأكسس أكرانت نمسائل الأكسس concessional loans اللولا بالمرفلو مسائل المغرورة قبل ميجي كده قام لتري البرايورتي رجيز غضم المال الشير أسيس العراق إذا أخو قومي رني عمل تلقى بارتنر كده من نسيل المسكيت أكرانت الهيراتيم إلا لانغرا دوري الأذا تيم كده UN اللونغرا أرتاجد الأذ مال بتاعورير إن دين الغرام مال أمسيرو اللي بتوع التريب بانغاني بتوع دوسو من دين المال غرا مال نقل تنقطع الكلتيم اللي كده البلاد هذا الأذلي دين الغنسي كده مال غوري كده الغنية تيجي هذا الانتراكت لو بنجلا بلول هذا من ده عديد we're shaping policy. They are the recipient of it.
I see. Malungil Aurela me ambassador. Ilanga tida question nga sila seabed mining. Of course we know tana matik mas there's a lot of manganese nodules seafloor.
I see.
Nga kamera high school Xavier imol professor UH samdara Xavier mas kami will other Micronesia yearning for independence, economic and financial independence. Mas taras mi will tap into chlor resource mi manganese nodules nga seafloor. Lahat na matiga, agel manganese nodules, hindi kaltital manganese. There's cobalt, and there's other really rare earth lang nga ringi. Ooy. Lahat question na akmalwas kangara UN. So lang kita amautyal kadara resource ma potential jackpot ra other belaw. Hindi kita natmura UN na ukna masiulidik masi di kalgida tap into it lang mal kodal daw la environments. The question is, when do you think they will do a comprehensive study? Magmula say tigidal date or when is it safe to start harvesting those manganese?
I see. Oo. Dakti la malungil question ako. Akti it's interesting kasi UN amlam siuli hindi tsaka perspective nga kasi kita mil siuli UN.
Oh, I see.
And it's actually a really powerful position. Kaya kita kanel blue belaw emlos better siuli tel katala ala. The science malga science ra deep sea. Illegal maklol balul lobang gather tagi del dolgering laseng moratorium last start telol tabadaw the public funding al mamsura deep sea. So they're saying by 2030 nglamu enough science will make informed educational scientific understanding al waseng impact tel deep sea. Elan dir gamlet till of the science for example al matiglo sesel control sa malabigal kora netel morto travertak say release a carbon tel gita tel lol da lakra climate change mong say gita ko rawa mo question wasing kadal da lakra climate change etral malaygal minerals el mrura batteril kambata climate change ending lang ania negative effect tel release a carbon ra bertak so say gita I think by 2030 di kukungil impact tel urel doru ngil wase hal do dongil telgib igal maklol bulum la auto da maklol udo ma France ultab da over 300 million public funding ilgira la scientific research of the deep sea.
Okay.
So before albol ngani tagidal ko political conversation ndim la akmal focus ni edin nakawdo del top del morning.
Hindi malungil like you say yagidal bulwa mo do a study by 2030 at least do laba data and scientific evidence support ra so it's going to be evidence-driven type of policy. Di ka dito nga feeling rigid mandakted. As you know, Ambassador, of course, di ba ang rigid rogue nations, di ka comply ka gid. Of course, nauru na mo statel nga rin contracted till mo mine. Ma Cook Islands or the Malapas are really going to do it. So, you know, I guess Palau is better to take to be err on the side of safety. Thank you for a good job. Question another question Ambassador Tora Israel. Israel although ngalil malsadil belaw. So lang we have been voting for the UN I mean for Israel almost 100%. Kasi why say so a question nak mo say ngaral challenge al ubeng controversy ngaral ko ra issue abela face selbo the support ra Israel ito ngek mo sing they have killed over 60-70,000 Palestinians ida other bela ko nga rin negative lot of filtering ko officer ra UN
why say ang mal tawan ra mal politically sensitive issue edira mal nganya negative repercussions al bla filtering ra UN edira tamal beto kar ngalged mar adango albulul nganya ruk milu sel melo nga suled al sabak ra Israel nganya ruk pebil al milu sel mel waseng tel maruni maknit. So I will say nganya two sides of the two advocates. So from a perspective gida nga niya kukman miring sa bakla Israel ma bebil kuk tral dissuade gid from voting that way. The seldong do President Twip sa mukte gida tral o mudra blul ad. Mang igal betul resolution ada o masin darata me kada senkelo bangla Amerigel Lembrigel Israel is also a strategic location militarily for the US. Egida qadad madela se through the compact se the qada partner other Lembrigel mungdire gal protection ergid. So in addition to gira del igal secure gida those spell broker piece qada dire gal ngania self interest ergid a little bit protectionist. The of course qada mal makitar mo de gal YDC other ملامات ما يجي كده الغرة سبيتسر كده رايو أنا ذيرغ الأقنالة تسل واسي غانيا الأولى مقمات سلبي لا إسرائيل الأذقل الفالو نديت غوق تجيني المريجي ده واسي كده ذاك ده مقمات را regular enemy تيال إيمول region and surrounding الدير the terrorists are getting Hezbollah Hamas ترغاسلو مغماد ندير الفالو الأولى مغماد من تغاسل ندير السيد use will be at a disadvantage. تدير لو أيسا يقال briefing رغم ما تو أيس وسين تدير أولدو رقلا ميسلس مطمور إسرائيل. So in some instances press تلقي بالbias تلقي لإسرائيل. We see one side of the it's a challenging situation. مكتر نقول لو مثلا إذا other Palestinian why say. Din diragal nga niya flip side of the story that's not being shown very much. It's not a regular war. Ako tegidal ngarang klel PSL initiative Ramrigel tegidal Board of Peace. Semla all lakli tial region finally after telal years after October 7 may galbek pa nga labalo mulu sa a resolution adim naka ngaral gut makli. Yamrigel amlamol all lakli el amlam mustad tel manala traffic flow mura Egypt mangwam lang mo sa edalo mesel was sel nga ngam sisi el sbel ol laklit al luldegel en goram ral mo we can see positive momentum before say ang rat mang kada diregal kada ngania briefing eri dalo mentir tigal adra Palestine matigal Arab League hindi kada diregal ngania briefing eri dalo benget tigal sa ali del mo understand the igal bet la point of view مساجد صدقا سالت لو بنجلا أو بيسر president تقدر اسمع بيجان of course إني أميجا decision واسن وعلى security.
هو إرسل دو مصر إسرائيل تكمل واسي Israel is one country in the middle of a sea of enemies. O letigir rogul Arabs adi berusirak masih to wipe Israel off the face of the earth. Mang the uptitrir and at the same time I know your position is kind of tough, but the good thing is that we still believe in democracy, Israel, as opposed to most Arab country at the dictatorship, palubeng kingdoms. Mang kadamal applaud a Palestinian belawal. Nothing better to have a friend who's not only a rainy day friend, but a friend all the time. Kadamal lungila security ra tiagidele Israel mamrigel mang. That's really good news. Elang ako shift el mora atara issue you mentioned it earlier tele UN Sustainable Development Goals. There's 17 of them.
Yeah.
And it covers just about everything. A question it must say, how is Palau faring off in those goals? And are we making progress? And if we do, what percentage of the whole 9 yards have we reached? Based on your opinion.
Agumda sablul adarogir is behind on the Sustainable Development Goals. Last gimo meeting el we're on track for 17%. So it's a social experiment that dinakakalsal prove itself. For example, on regal Sustainable Development Goals agira la climate change. So before the Paris Agreement, the ablul adam lay on track for 4-degree warming. Elang after Paris Agreement in 2.6 degrees. We're on track for 2.6. Our goal is 1.5. So, things are progressing but very, very slowly. Kita agim malas manmru ringi tial elangan nga reform ra UN kal amngal wasin Amerika lam la clol budget ni lot of the UN. So, since ang nga clol budget cut, ang ginamal reprioritize wasin igaludaw dung lalbor ngaram laurior nga dirka kalaurior. Di abebi ra kumdas yung malclol progress ra UN at ra children's mortality elat tulme sa egal funding el tilo del norio funding ra last year, and it's the first time childhood mortality rates increased last year. So dira kal sa edal mesang asesel kata funding el mong, and you're no longer on that trajectory. So nga malungi lure la UN at la UNICEF ra nutrition ma digital tokora school there's some that's better progress than others, hindi blur vela kakita mal advance. So nganya tell it's called the Human Development Index is one of the highest in the world. We have clean water, we have sanitation, umasindra igal household nganya tenggiringi. So in some ways, we're ahead than most. So kita tinakal la kamla obo kamda ni selebora igal bebi rablu ada kada mo mel asol kita ada bela mal ngat le abal wada bud kita syuka ngari kita tinakal mal mokrata matargit من سلدته قد أبوه دوا سانغد البلو قد سيجدا تعطوني البلو.
I see. Marangida ambassador is always saying, before you judge yourself, always do a comparative analysis. O iling kredim lo ko lubu lagi telometra tibil adra South Sudan na ako klamoria urdi giringi maklungel geltang population mla displace marangal ka masmer ma parents are direct kelda kasril lom karar ng ligilan dia kakal. O another kumna sa tara challenge so mi ngara UN Uncle Trump is he makes a fast decision mlakat budget ko mi magureng sra Gutierrez we need money.
I see, yeah.
So ngaraw the same, you think as kuma Trump aja kal baskida baskima udod, you think other nations can chip in, or is that legum daswa maybe I'm just speculating historically America has always been the biggest donor.
I see.
Again, before France, England, or Germany, they've always come in last, and they've always trying to make an excuse.
I see.
So I think Trump may be using that as a leverage for them to start paying up. Everybody has to chip in. Mga speculation na is it other country can chip in?
Saya ko talaga bilmarin question le okmong regular world da kira alsel in kasi nga niya fiscal space rangod albalul contribute hindi akadam nila sa bato ka security issues mga nitel issue Queensland man ito udodara security mga dobe sa wasegel ODA igel grant aid igel development igal balu am not chancel mo fund security mga madara Ukraine Melang ko talgibel ngasang saudo darat balul de kalmarigel mang agi direl miring laptel ma maring UN sa ngida del prepare wasen mosong sa budget ra UN mangira del prioritize, and I think that's actually a really good exercise le sa dami sa ikal initiative ra UN en koratyo melek le and nga tokol initiative daka end date ni so every year ngosisiu ada pasab SL resolution el molla mangwal di loral maklolla maklo enforcement daka bol budget so sa gita streamlining el it's going to be necessary because there's no money to do otherwise. So I think the UN will survive. It will be leaner, hopefully more efficient. Diktira kalmal mesaklung yole lawaseng mlamugire dal tilgi bil clean up tial mla opkugo, and because of course kita kikarel balu mang seldil nga kama ngel first secretary lom tervelaw and dekal sa edal morigal meeting rogo ilenguk mal na moboto enseguida dire al dol gori lo ase hale the priorities are ready lo ase ngara focus an lem lamo taita bachet es el cloral mo del give el ngani audo de donglon hinding ya ndi watel tel give lo ase lo mo ngania economic crisis rabalu ngia del shungara bachet so I think the UN is going through a change and it's going to be a difficult one. I think it Ngoamring na kal mesangot al klol belul me contribute lesinam la express el wasin de kalso al manglora contribution ti. So el angira del diomes el wasin skumong fix tabachat ngana priority seguida igel west al amogir el klokatni.
I see. El anga as we look at history ambassador sargot after World War I. And they tried experimenting with the concept of the League of Nations. Imle fail. Imle fail. After World War II, we started the United Nations with the United States being the driver of it. You've been there for several years, so you kind of feel the atmosphere, feel the power of UN. Based on being in there, do you see United Nations playing more role in driving change around the blue that almost diminish?
Akunda sa net effect that UN is positive. A UN ameo le UN at 200 tel balu agiril at atu. And I think that's the challenge, but it's also the opportunity. Hindi kangod albashel borngi es mo adu ablu adarogi. And I think that's it's both an opportunity and a challenge. The ngania, for example, seldora whole sa UN ngania specific program seldome sing kaungil manala tora ocean governance. Tagi the high seas treaty entered into force last month. Mga nangigay dal ka specific areas gumdas when it's doing a lot of good because in the international waters there's no other way to regulate them unless you talk to each other and klokle the rogoy. Yang nga reveal el Security Council so bato ka meeting of course ablura Miguel, mablura Sina, mablura Russia tadivito it's a political game. So I think there's specific pillars sa UN el design al founding fathers sa UN I think in hindsight they don't work very well. Ding da ko nang sen makalada chance lega or ding la and igal P5 ngel get rid of their veto rights. So sa kita ulok kadamla mo mesrawa board of peace na mo outside process sa UN. And I think maybe that's a good thing. The way you reform something is you introduce competition. So ako na sa selbol bato kay gay dilgora will attract attention away from the UN and la hopefully skya chance sa UN will reform. Diktire kala akna Brussels sa Amerika Alosa dra Queensland you can tell Europe was shaken up by it. I hope that this is not like a repetition of the League of Nations that we're living through because nothing is guaranteed. If diplomats don't do their jobs, we're kind of the first line of defense. So far I think it's helpful, but it's also situation.
Right. But I think at the end of the day, it's better to have a forum to at least the grievance try to bring people together than have none. As you know, Ambassador, tigal historians say the reason why there's always conflict because there's just no communication. Mal simple o mang agel domes agel think tank karam ligil arwa Brookings Institute sele Atlanta Council toto da pinirtir el mal masingirel ngaria forum alaka forum ng PWL okay so lang you touched about the idea of the council peace council it came to my I remember one of my course in college sangaria tara Udasel dilu, but I think back in the 60s or 70s, masih Amrigela girel ngaringiya, atar al-other ngayin, kela Peace Academy. Okay, instead of having Pentagon with all these, Army, Marines, and Navy, and now they have a space force. Eldo ngalsel dio think how to invade or defend Rablulat. Kami do create Ratar al-Adl with a lot of power and a lot of input from the people. Purpose niya do si Aldrich say how do we create peace around the world Masira kan siya Trump masimanya tiagidele a border a peace board Akma say man this is a damn good idea. It's an idea that has come. Kabor explain the sek masing ranga mal tuwat nga participants ringi ya velaun sa elwak nga rin ati tukol mo ansel se
yes ako na ela asal tong ada UN ang katel will mix the feedback artel board of peace lengan ya bebi rablu tukol ni ablu ra Europe lo mara lo asang mangitu ra UN legam lang utel conversation rablu ada rogir lot of the Mela kita ta kaking letter say hindi ka input hindi ka the small island developing state will invite ring mo so say kita adiregal tara monda sa blue ramrigela or route tiang magigi dalgok mlotila to atingin ang president tra Canada mangwase prime minister Canada mangoluti invitation so it's not like the UN ngan nga laul ma hindi kal sa MLD ka lot of dia tara balu mang say kita adiregal ngan nga adalong maral wasing mungil ngan nga sisi lorut tangi mang ngan nga vote the resources el broker the peace agreement on the flip side then it's not representative of the world so I think hindi ka kalsal mo to ka information el gidel di ikay kita ko ra nganyar there's still below I'm not joined so nganyar mlakongay nganyar abulun mlakotoar manding information and medikita limited leng hindi ka invited.
I see. You know you have a good point Ambassador Leng maral to koy ngrama Trump ako create tara al-ad already a mission the UN is doing the same thing mangkaya ako koya adingil create a competition for America already nga representation tira UN so but you know Trump always comes up with some wild ideas del idea agagidele Greenland agidele recently agidele Venezuela you know hopefully he won't do anything drastic gida adra belawling you know kita mal dependram rigel for agidel aid gid not only grants but plus agagidele technical assistance okay so being an ambassador now you represent Palau in the United Nations so question at say do you just follow what the policy of Palau or can you take initiative so lang make a let's say a proposal obviously you can't do it on your own without the blessing of the president but you can you take initiative as ambassador come on explain the process
Elang pa to ka pagpadagal initiative so nga take the initiative at deep sea mining for example kita mle ko talbulu declare wasak the support a moratorium until mo nga scientific research masa dimla tiging la president wasing kumama we're ocean country take the policy kumam this is what we think of this process dimlengil dulisera UN Ocean Conference elang it's lamla modori for el blue at join give so that's one way where it's a head of states show leadership convince the tiral colleagues was it take the will elang every year gi mora take the ISR at July mga resolution mga sponsor maldiwa or hotel all bill lukuk nga ka el atele Vanuatu for example se tirgem le pasra resolution nagila advisory opinion na International Court of Justice gila la climate change so sem lemring resolution le sorry balul other goal ka ngerni hindi tiligay kita mil alise uspera Pacific Islands el supporter tire kita mol ngita senkyo so depending on kasing ngaral priority we hope to accomplish it can be development it can be security human rights Di seldom sa igal ko rabek padang lablung ko nga niya el ay kita kukmal manala isa da to rada, that's our signature. Seldom adara martial at kukmal focus sa human rights. Dabura adara fichi to kukmal focus sa security. Adara gini ba sa ko sorry tial nuclear non-proliferation. Ko nga niya each ambassador has their own passion, their own focus. Makukuha mo niya lesel nga niya sa blogger specific topic e kamortang.
Oh, that's good. That's interesting. Why silly? I can see why the Marshall Islands are mal concerned with human rights. Like, you know, being a victim of the Bravo nuclear fallout. I mean, it's they're still feeling the impact today.
Yeah.
Oh, especially tiga adarawa anyway tak igel the Borabulurire igal utamadiri kangaring al contamination, so they cannot plant anything. You know. So I can see why. We have some of the most beautiful ocean in the world. So for us to be the champion of the ocean, and that's so another issue, Ambassador. So you're there, and you're representing Palau. Then you have all these international issues, UN. How do you balance that with our domestic need? How you being a maybe you have to be an acrobat.
You have to, and it depends on the topic. Specifically, mo impact military defense. Amalgira del consult labantira, Ambassador Kyoto, for example. Nguduk mal le tegi naman atram rigel say. So ngani gigi del mal sensitive security issues and the consult of course we rely on each other. Climate change, for example, we're not really seeing eye to eye on that these days. So sige da party da malmal maldir ko sisil was the kadumral was a problem gida the lower gid may galbek padang lablu combat ringi. So it really depends on the topic and then selgim ngania ko sensitive political issue kama mal ambassador of Pacific I usually meet, so every month ngania meeting el kamam magi ko rashera ulda so ma feedback seguida gi molabel mod adur capitol kamam member ko mala direction gira la thank you.
Interesting. Okay, Ilana, Ambassador, as you know, one of the big issues in Belarus at time has not been 100% resolved. Tiale tokora deportees. So, as you know, there's been a lawsuit filed. The OEK, Senate, take an extreme case at Tirir. Of course, I will belong to directly support me. But meantime, you know, we are the friends of the United States, you know. So we're kind of stuck in between maybe a domestic issue, my legal issue domestically, is there any role in the UN, Palau official UN on this, or is that something that's totally a domestic issue?
That's primarily domestic. Under a portfolio of Ambassador Kyoto. So Ambassador Kyoto Gaberam Rigel, say bilateral relationship. So ungra arse mongwal direct liaison gid ma government ram Rigel. Ako sa ngosugi deringi elang kita takal dilgi da amlang hotel offer accept the deportees blue Rwanda amla accept ma kumda sar deportees amlamong mandira kal sa etologa retil was wara experience ra kami tiang net positive so say kita kumda sa cook roller kamamra UN as etel information gather le of course ang langan yak kantil tial policy ang yak klum yolel hindi I think we can make better decisions with more information. Right. So ako wala mama sa amil facilitate wasang wangara experience ang albil na kong itel program nganya kantil nganya ko klumyolel and sa el mera leadership bergit makadadire kal make informed decision.
Okay. Dia nga ka direct of course I kamat talk show ko mamra ko sak lagi sometime lagi debate ngilulda so the confidential ambassador is that we are a friend of the most generous nation in the world, the richest nation in the world, and the most powerful nation in the world. So, to me, if there is any issue, the mitigation is not an issue. If these people come here stuck, then we don't have to be involved with claim say human trafficking. We had, I think, intention was right. There's no intention of malice. We want the people to come here because of the help from Rigel. Meantime, kita ko enjoy benefit monetarily, especially tigil terul adra drugs merbelaw mga seur gidling. The drug issue merbelaw it's already out of our hand.
I see.
We don't know how to control it anymore. But other the more about the feeling it there is no ground level solution yet. Akmundur atarabuy gil mer obis nga at say Olek, Aron mentioned the town of Hamlet, and Mr. Olek, Akpor Hamlet ringi Arbuiga Olingit Taudo, then amo aggressive, you know, ma ultrawang rang just to get money. So it's got to a point where youth rebelawa mal endangered, you know. Is the United Nations have any drug program for these third world countries?
Nga UN Office of Illicit Trade di agumda sundi kada sal engager say Australia agumda sundi ang fund di mostly about information sharing. Di gumda sundi kada utilize yourself obviously more self good bubbles of it. So say dal adi dal sa dalom ni sangi wangaral dongwa los per adal kambata igal Bruxelles masois report di dal ngani ako ra adira gumda swing UN at telgibel meuda they're not on the cutting edge by the bora Rigel ma Australia igal technology los pe malbes disel the bora UN the information share telgibel uta technology ma strategies los pe because they're just gathering data dikmnal say tegedel office of illicit trade adira mal problem ra aisra fichi en la moklo HIV letamru sakar مسيجد أقمدين لو أسد توسبير سيجد لو بيس الملاسم الأندرستاند الواسن يجان عرجل ما توسبير أو عرال بيلاس مسيجد قمنا سن الأرض دغل سيد المودر لبنجلا Ministry of Justice الواسن سن مغرس المسوقيف.
I see. Okay, Ambassador Atema da kwa Admiral Mogde betiang it's not about an hour Kausischakl. So for now, what is you think is your personal ambition as far as advancing ra gukurelem or tial role as ambassador UN? And for example, it's like your wish list. And then number two part of that question is what brings you the most joy being ambassador the UN to give?
Well, a wish list na kam dinge adalbela sa nga background na nga finance and technology so nga amla private sector ma hukmal focus na nga wasing magarad chance igal ula UN o OECD DAC rules malsaed al access affordable cheap finance selbol nga niya beta araludo in svel booster development rablu vela in a very significant way. So Segida humral masekman mo focus in the next couple of years. Tiral mal passionate ratora da agumda swatial al balur vela the 20,000 al EEC it's the size of France. Kada mal klol balur. Do ase kada gerel balun digi da klol balun ding di da.
Large ocean state.
Large ocean state. So akmal umral ase ada bodo focus gire la shoba that can be a really good economic driver for us. Igagi the Luria Blue Economy and Finance Forum lolsis baldo regal maklul fund. Iges adal mo access foster aquaculture may gagi ako amal two passionate areas for me. Yeah, I think aktiral mal aswar sel kana UN and akor umral wasik tialging leda edal gingal Kita ongedel gotel gerel belura UN rabelul af ding diosisia ngaret osisia atigingen ma securities ma beluram rigel and that's a really sacred place. Mang aktira kalomral was in addition to nganya those pera UN lolo sergi dira kangal mal nganya sabe lolo we can help to shape the world. So segi ta samara ringi dira kal amninga dira kal level kal masam le mring L'Oriol gira la independence sergi. Ma akmal ko atmero ngukol ngarsel mle rada ela uredi leader. Of course we are to call at but aktiral momal asol was say all the work that's been done by generations before makes our job easier. Magira dan mi L'Oriol mo sel menexel ambassadors and what will give better already. So say kita ko outlook ngak but it's been a really special experience. Akmal meron ko ngarsel lam teerigit ngalungan niya ongitel may or nga priorities are out. Please as I said before akmal I'm an open book. I'm very accessible. So didikal mal encourage our other matam lusil mains adal ko kor adu.
Nice. Toram Rigel Ambassador, you are shouldering the dreams of a nation.
I see.
Okay. So kita kadibat temed we close. So before we close, Ambassador, namoring at tol go rings ra ko coffee shop, mabibira restaurant. We're so proud of Ambassador Seid. Naria talk say maybe she should come back home and be one of our congressmen or even senator. So do you have any ambition politically to come home and be part of the local political process?
Ngangyar adal ko am lamod at uranga mak of qoradir qom baswani mal enchera reder el altam diktiral adar abliga qadiman mamuklul af so qadadir lo mesel wasin lam lamoteme del mermey in the future they of course ela a term president Tupsa three more years so of course I serve at his discretion mang sel most pera nga karsem sel kangel wasen lamos begal men amogiral mending actiral I think it'll be my more 7 years as ambassador so I think it might be time for a new challenge as well actiral qaratil qamdasonin din dir qatalgi reda time
I understand ladang it's no matter how you enjoy your role Roguluro nga shelf life ngi hindi akan zoom in ngaratana di mol bogabi. So after a while I say well akmal enjoy being ambassador and I'm making some waves in the world but I think I need to change my tempo. So keep that in your back of your mind Okay so ilang gidam close our program ergi tigidel man nam out almost 1 hour. So before we do that let me just kind of give you a few minutes to do a closing and anything you want to say and then we can close the program for today.
I think ang mal important na share of course ang nga social media ding tira invite other malusel may nga specific garir the priority rigida tokora climate change matokora ba mataygid tokora finance for small islands ngania ko angod al priority ngania adal loldub actiral mal welcome of course ang akarselom terigid mga actiral I serve at the will of the people dinakal ngania president tadir kamle nominate dilani ra mga saul mo first candidate terigid al UN Commission on the Rights of People with Disabilities.
Oh wow!
And it's a contested election. Magimal mamring el campaign and diktira lavilani mle classmate nga ragoro elementary.
Nice.
Maktira al amal klorong ko wasen gal mle classmate nga gas el go hopefully ak el ngosugi ang mo shape global policy adal itut with disability and it makes me really proud al wasaq de garel balloon din ngani tel tora Pacific was it's not the size of the dog, it's the size of a fight in the dog.
That's a good one.
Yeah, mal samrial lumtergi that mal dimring asuliar mal supportive man nganyar malusen mal supportive at tigingir mak dimring asaw le hopefully ak sa mutil me in the next time me.
I see. And you are on Facebook, I understand?
I'm on Facebook, my Instagram.
Instagram. Okay, so there you go, folks. As kuman so mi ug ngaria comment kami wa perusibo dange ambassador gide. You can reach her at Instagram alubeng Facebook Messenger. Okay. Medil wartia tital nombre ka shorgi de madi kutel te ale goreng asau le mura adar belau el mesa Kausischakl al sils direct loreng mase sun gukme Moses nara gurul mem el John Rigid ngi magambes ma robora idung med guk continue our program. Di mo seguid thank you again ambassador kau ma staff ka ngartiang and then di mo tiagi del sils. Thank you for your time and have a good day. Remember, don't forget those flowers for Saturday, Valentine's Day. What do I say? Kuman masaul.
Silang.